The top stories tonight in Y News. The House of Representatives prepares for President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s State of the Nation address on July 22nd.
The Commission on Election, or COMELEC, seeks to determine any election offense against suspended Bamban-Tarlac Mayor Alice Gu.
Former President Rodrigo Duterte has asserted that the Philippine offshore gaming operations, or POGOs, were permitted in the country.
And we will discover why Democrat representatives announced that they stand firm with United States President Joe Biden and will continue to represent the Democratic Party of the upcoming election despite his poor debate performance.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Monday, the 1st of July, 2024. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am Oralyn Quijano.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Joselito Liquido.
First in the news. The Bagong Pilipinas Hymn and Pledge are now included in the flag-raising ceremony of the House of Representatives. Meanwhile, renovations are underway in certain parts of the House of Representatives for President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s State of the Nation address on July 22, 2024. Rosalie Cos details why.
The House of Representatives has incorporated the Bagong Pilipinas Hymn and Pledge in their monthly flag-raising ceremony. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s Memorandum Circular No. 52 is limited to government agencies under the executive branch. Under the directive, all agencies and instrumentalities of the government, including government-owned and controlled corporations, educational institutions such as state universities and colleges, are instructed to include the singing of the Bagong Pilipinas hymn and the recitation of the Bagong Pilipinas in their flag ceremonies. Local governments are also encouraged to do the same.
Bilang Pilipino, buong pagmamalaki kong isa sa buhay ang Bagong Pilipinas. Buhay sa aking dugo ang lahing dakila, magiting at may dangal.
According to House Secretary General Reginald Velasco, the incorporation of the Bagong Pilipinas Hymn and Pledge into the monthly flag ceremony of the House of Representatives is in solidarity with the goals of the PBBM administration.
I issued the order. I was instructed by the House leadership that we share the same vision, same goals, so we will adopt it starting today.
On June 26, Velasco issued a memorandum encouraging all departments and offices in the House of Representatives to recite the Bagong Pilipinas hymn and pledge during the flag ceremony. Meanwhile, preparations continue at the House of Representatives for the third State of the Nation Address or SONA of PBBM on July 22, 2024. Parts of the Batasang Pambansa are undergoing renovations, including the installation of air conditioning units in the north and south galleries, where lawmakers, dignitaries, and other guests enter for the SONA.
This is an old building, no? That's why we have decided to renovate the north, south, and that back lobby, no, back entrance. Kasi yan yung so we have decided to install air conditioning. Kasi nahihirapan yung mga guests minsan, pumipila. And then as you know, sa SONA, all the VIPs will be passing through north and south lobby, no? Major complaint, napakainit.
In addition to this, they have also sent out around 2,000 invitations with confirmation received from more than half of the recipients. Among those invited, is Vice President Sara Duterte, although the House official has not yet received information on whether the Vice President, who recently resigned from PBBM's cabinet, will attend. He also revealed that he has spoken with the President regarding the SONA.
I had a chit chat with the president yesterday, and I said there are a lot of people who would like to attend this SONA, this July 22nd, and he said to me, accommodate all of them.
In a significant security measure, the House of Representatives will implement a lockdown ahead of the State of the Nation address. Secretary General Velasco has yet to disclose the budget allocated by the House for the SONA preparations. Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Quezon City Police District, or QCPD, will deploy approximately 6,000 police personnel for security operations for the upcoming State of the Nation Address, or SONA, for President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. QCPD Director Police Brigadier General Red Maranan stated that they are closely coordinating with other law enforcement agencies and local government units to ensure peace and order during the event. In addition to uniformed officers, policemen in plainclothes will conduct intelligence monitoring. A liquor ban and gun ban will be implemented starting the day before July 22 to ensure a peaceful SONA for President Marcos Jr.
Sa ngayon, wala tayong namomonitor na seryosong banta sa gaganapin SONA ng Pangulo, but nevertheless, hindi tayo nagpapabaya and we do not let our guards down. Tuloy-tuloy ang pangangalap natin ng mga information, and once na meron tayong makuha, mag-a-adjust yung ating security environment.
The Philippine Air Force showcased their capability to defend the country's territory against trespassers. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. reaffirms his dedication to bolstering the capabilities of the Philippine Air Force. Nel Maribojoc reports.
In a scenario, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, launch offensive counter operations to destroy an enemy who attacked and captured the Philippine military base. The FA-50 fighter jets were ordered to weaken and neutralize the enemies. Arriving in the enemy's area is a S-70I Black Hawk helicopter that carried the troops who performed the fast rope insertion extrication system operations, also known as FRIES.
Target lock, coming in hot.
The Air Force also presented how the C-295 transport aircraft delivered the package through the Guided Precision Aerial Delivery System, or GPADS. These are some of the capability demonstration of the Philippine Air Force during their 77th anniversary celebration at Basa Air Base in Florida Blanca, Pampanga early this morning, July 1. PAF Commanding General Lieutenant General Stephen Pareño expressed their readiness to defend the country from what he called the trespassers.
When trespassing aggressors are denying us our right to our own territory, threatening our ships and harming our soldiers, we are ready to respond swiftly with courage and firm resolve in defense of our sovereignty, in honor of our flag.
Meanwhile, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. vowed the administration's support to the capability development of the AFP. These include acquiring additional assets.
Consistent efforts are being done, such as acquiring additional air assets, enhancing cyber warfare communication systems, and pursuing base development programs. We have likewise acquired additional aircraft as well as advanced radar systems, which have transformed our operational readiness and has enhanced our operational reach.
The Commander-in-Chief said the government has taken significant steps that complement and boost the administration's vision for a stronger and more capable Air Force through increased maritime domain awareness within the Philippine Air Force Defense Identification Zone. Nel Maribuco, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, has ordered its law department to study possible cases against suspended Banbantarlac Mayor Alice Guo. This is amid possible filing of co-warranto petition by the Office of the Solicitor General. Dante Amento tells us why.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, on its own effort, wants to determine any election offense by suspended Banbantarlac Mayor Alice Guo. Thus, Chairman George Erwin Garcia ordered their law department to examine the available evidence and even the initial findings by the Senate on its investigation.
Pag-aralan na yung mismong kaso, yung mismong mga lumalabas ng mga ebidensya at yung mismong initial findings ng Senado.
The poll body will also wait for the Senate committee report and the result of the Office of the Solicitor General, or OSG probe.
Natutuwa tayo sa pronouncement ng ating Solgen Guevara na sabi niya any moment from now ipapile na nila ang petition for co-warranto.
Garcia explained that the co-warranto petition by the OSG would help on their parallel probe and subsequent filing of criminal case, especially whether there was a material misrepresentation on Guo's Certificate of Candidacy or COC.
Pwede namin gawing basihan yung mga nilalaman ng isang petition for co-warranto upang tingnan namin meron ba talagang misrepresentation.
Meanwhile, the poll body made a stern warning against possible candidates in the 2025 elections that may put false information on their COCs. Aside from disqualification or cancellation of COC, they would also be facing criminal cases.
Ang dami po naming nakasuhan sapagkat na-cancel ang kanilang candidacy dahil napatunayan hindi pala Filipino citizen, hindi pala of age, hindi pala siya registered voter, hindi naman pala resident ng lugar na yan. Therefore, kinakancel namin ang candidacy, lagi pong may nakalagay doon. And to refer to the law department para i-determine yung criminal liability.
Dante Amento, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And for the news abroad. On Sunday, June 30th, sources close to the case announced that the United States Justice Department will criminally charge Boeing with fraud over 2 fatal crashes. In particular, these 2 fatal crashes involved Boeing 737 MAX jets and resulted in the loss of 346 lives. The decision to charge the aerospace company stems from Boeing allegedly violating a 2021 agreement that previously shielded it from prosecution over these incidents. The proposed plea deals include a substantial financial penalty, oversight by an independent monitor for 3 years, and potentially restitution payments. Meanwhile, Boeing has been given a deadline to respond to the non-negotiable offer, which could impact its ability to secure government contracts and subjects it to heightened scrutiny.
Democratic representatives announced that they stand firm with United States President Joe Biden and will continue to represent the Democratic Party for the upcoming election. Politicians have questioned President Biden's performance in the recent presidential debate against former President and Republican Representative Donald Trump, stating that he should not run for another term in power and should be replaced with a younger candidate. However, key Democrat representatives ruled out these possibilities and called on party members to continue their support. According to a poll, almost 46% of Democrats said that Biden should not be running for president. However, several Democratic senators said that bad debates happened and his performance was nothing more than a setup for a comeback. Another senator argued that Biden is the only Democrat to beat Donald Trump. Meanwhile, Trump said that he feels great after his performance and claimed it was probably the best debate of his political career. While Democratic leaders continue to stand with him, it will be up to President Biden if he wishes to continue with his presidential run. We'll share more global stories with you later. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. A lawmaker has expressed his openness to head the Department of Education or DepEd. Senator Juan Edgardo Sani Angara says he is willing to assume the post if appointed as the next DepEd secretary. For now, Angara clarifies President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has yet to offer him the cabinet position, which he admits would be difficult to refuse. Several senators, including Senate President Francis Chis Escudero, recommended Angara to be the next DepEd chief, citing his extensive educational background and being an active member of the Congressional Commission on Education, or EDCOM.
Wala pa pong alok na maging kalihim po tayo ng edukasyon. Siguro kailangan ni Pangulong bongbong ng oras tulad ng sinabi niya para makapagpili siya ng nababagay at napupusuan niya para sa posisyon. Open naman ho tayo kung sakaling pinagkatiwalaan.
Meanwhile, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, who is also being suggested to lead the department, is not keen with the proposal. Gatchalian intends to finish his term as a senator as he vouches for Angara to be the next DepEd secretary. He adds his brother DSWD Secretary Rex Gatchalian is also not interested with the post.
Meron pa akong 4 years in my term at dapat ko tapusin yung mandato na ibinigay sa akin ng taong bayan. 16 million votes nakuha natin at ito yung mandato na binigay natin. So dapat lang at tama lang na tapusin yung mandato na ibinigay sa atin.
The Commission on Elections has emphasized the importance of informed voting, even for persons deprived of liberty or PDLs. According to COMELEC, their voter education advocacy continues within prison facilities across the country, ensuring that every eligible voter is well informed and able to participate in the democratic process. Jed Neresina details why.
The Commission on Elections or COMELEC remains committed to ensuring that persons deprived of liberty or PDLs across the country are informed about intelligent voting and making the right selections of candidates. COMELEC Chairman George Erwin Garcia emphasized their efforts in intensifying voter education, particularly as PDLs have actively participated in voting during every election. Additionally, preparations include training PDLs on the use of new voting machines to facilitate their engagement in the electoral process.
Voters education pa rin. At least ang COMELEC, kasama ang lalong-lalo na yung vulnerable sectors office namin, ay pwede kaming maglabas-pasok sa mismong loob ng kulungan at pwede kaming mag-voters education, lalo na sa paggamit ng bagong makina, lalo na tungkol sa tamang pamimili ng mga kandidato.
Chairman Garcia explained those in prison still have the right to vote, especially if they have not yet been convicted, because they are still considered citizens of the Philippines.
Base sa naging desisyon ng Korte Suprema sa Santiago versus the Commission on Elections, na pinayagan silang makaboto hindi lamang sa national position. Pinayagan sila na makaboto kahit sa local position, ginagawa at pinipilit ng ating Vulnerable Sectors Office na sila ay makaboto sa mga nakaraang eleksyon at sa darating na halalan. Napaka-importante yon. Sapagkat hanggat nakakaboto ka, isa lang ang ibig sabihin, Filipino citizen ka. Yung right of suffrage mo na nasa saligang batas, ginagarantiya lalong-lalo na ng Commission on Election.
The COMELEC continues to coordinate with the Bureau of Corrections and the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology so that candidates' campaign materials can be delivered inside the jail during the election period. But Chairman Garcia explained they cannot allow the campaign to happen physically inside the prison facility. They consider it dangerous not only to the PDL but to people who will be getting in and out of the facility. Furthermore, he said the COMELEC can also put a prison inside the jail for PDL voting.
Basta 50 persons deprived of liberties or more than, maglalagay na tayo mismo ng presinto sa loob ng prison facility. Pero kapag mas mababa sa 50, wala po tayong choice kung hindi yung mismong nakakulong, yung mismong PDL ay dadalhin natin sa bawat presinto kung saan sila boboto, doon sa lugar na kung nasaan yung prison facility.
Jed Meresina, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Philippine National Chief Police General Morobel Francisco Marbil issued a directive emphasizing public safety as a top priority for police officers. He underscored the importance of prompt responses to citizen complaints and emergencies. Additionally, General Marbil announced an intensified campaign against cybercrimes in response to a rise in cybercrime cases. Looking ahead to the 2025 national and local elections, the PNP will conduct major crackdowns on illegal firearms, illegal drugs, and private armed groups to ensure a secure electoral environment. Furthermore, General Marbil encouraged the public to report any instances of police abuse through PNP hotlines 117 or 911, underscoring transparency and accountability within the police force.
The Wage Board has approved a 35 peso salary hike for minimum wage workers in the National Capital Region. A confederation of employers, however, says wage hike concerns majority of enterprises. Asher Kadapan Jr. details why.
Inflation and poverty threshold led the regional tripartite wages and productivity board in the National Capital Region to raise the salary. This after the wage board received several wage petitions from labor groups. Based on the wage order, a 35 peso increase will be applied to minimum wage workers in Metro Manila. This means that from a daily wage of 610 pesos, workers under non-agriculture sectors or industry will receive 645 pesos salary, while minimum wage workers in the agriculture sectors for both plantation and non-plantation will have their salary increased from 573 to 608 pesos. This also applies to service or retail establishments that employ 15 workers or lesser and manufacturing establishments which regularly employs less than 10 workers. The Employers Confederation of the Philippines or ECOP, however, anticipates lower salary increase.
Kung mga 20 pesos man lang doon sana kasi naman to yung computation in sa inflation. Pero sabi ko, maraming computation, maraming factors na consider yung wage board yan na lumabas. So, sundin na lang natin. At yan naman ang readiness to objective na pagtataas ng sweldo.
But ECOP says the impact on the wage increase is not on the big companies, but rather on micro enterprises.
Enterprises natin, 90% micro. Yung mga yun, kahit na sa piso yan, iindahin dahil marami pangalan hanggang dumadaig pa rin marami hindi nagbubukas dahil sa taas ng sweldo yun ang may problema, yung mga micro.
The wage increase takes effect 15 days after its publication today, July 1, 2024. Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Land Transportation Office or LTO started the implementation of a no plate, no travel policy in Quezon City today, July 1. JP Nunez details why exclusive.
The Land Transportation Office or LTO conducted on Monday, July 1, the implementation of no plate, no travel policy in Quezon City. Joined by the Quezon City Traffic Transport Management Department, they inspected the Bago Bantay Toda. 23 tricycle drivers were apprehended for using unauthorized license plates.
May iba na kolorum, walang prangkisa, hindi nakarehistro, at yung nagmamaneho walang lisensya. So yun po yung pinakagrabe na natitikitan natin at yun ay inimpound natin.
Itong operation na to, kaya kami sumama para i-assist na rin yung mga TODA natin at yung LTO natin na kapag yung mga todang napa-flag down na walang plaka at base sa aming records meron plaka, kinakabit namin on the spot para hindi na sila mahuli.
Based on the no plate no travel policy implemented by the LTO, tricycle operators in QC should place the legitimate license plates clearly visible and properly attached to tricycles. Among the apprehended today is a senior citizen who is using a temporary license plate. According to Antonio Tabuso, he uses temporary plate as the LTO issued license plate is not yet released by the dealer of his motorcycle. His motorcycle is a second-hand unit and its first-hand buyer reasons that LTO is not yet releasing license plate since 2017. He was fined 5,000 pesos for using unauthorized license plate while serving as public transportation.
5,000 raw ho yung tubos. Ay, kung sa kukunay, senior na ako. Sobrang laki naman ho yung 5,000. Saan naman ako kukuha ng ganong kalaki?
Updated yung kanyang permit sa city government, updated yung kanyang reason sa LTO, wala lang talaga siyang plaka. Based sa aming records, wala siya dun sa listahan na nabigyan ng plaka.
Another tricycle driver who was issued violation ticket is Noriel Manalo. He was apprehended for being out of line, but when authorities asked for his driver's license, they discovered that it was fake. His tricycle unit was among those impounded by the LTO and brought to its central office in Quezon City.
Kasi kaibigan ko rin sila naman na gano'n yan na nirekomenda ka sa akin Sana hindi na loko ulit. Na ako ng talagang hindi na peke yung license.
The LTO said they have addressed the almost 3,000 backlogs of license plates for tricycles in Quezon City. Those who are still using temporary plate are operating as colorum vehicles.
Ang LTO naibigay na sa Quezon City yung mga plaka nila. Yung single motor, possible po na may backlog pa kami. Pero pagdating po sa tricycle ng Quezon City, naibigay na po natin sa Quezon City.
LTO advises tricycle operators to get their license plates from the agency to avoid possible fine of 5,000 pesos. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And in other global news, two of Ukraine's largest cities suffered from Russian attacks on Sunday. President Volodymyr Zelensky posted on messaging app Telegram that Russia designated 800 glide bombs on specific Ukrainian targets for the last week. He expressed his plea for help as his country needs more powerful weapons to counterattack Russian advances. Access Salam will tell us why.
Cautions and warnings were released on Sunday, June 30, in different spots around northern and capital of Ukraine as one of the air defense system detected and obstruct Russian missiles. Russia initiated another attacks on Ukraine, now hitting Kiev and Kharkiv. In Kiev, the attacks resulted to 1 death, 9 serious injuries, and burned 14-story building. Kiev region's military administration revealed that few immediate towns around Kiev were also damaged due to missile craft falling into it. No details of the damage extent have been provided. Mayor Vitaly Klitschko has announced that 10 residents have been moved from the area and 5 females had undergone psychological treatment for stress. Kharkiv city has become Russian target for the last months. Military analysts attribute these attacks to the United States authorizing Ukraine to use US-made weapons to attack specific Russian targets. Kharkiv sustained 9 people injured, including an 8-month-old baby. Donetsk region, Ukrainian rescue services has also been busy doing extensive evacuation as Russian glide bombs has hit the town. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has released a video requesting for help.
І ці їхні бомби – одна з ключових основ путінської здатності воювати. Чим швидше світ допоможе нам розібратись із російською бойовою авіацією, що запускає ці бомби, чим швидше ми зможемо завдати ударів, цілком справедливих, до речі, по російській військовій інфраструктурі, по військових аеродромах, тим ближче буде мир. Справжній мир. Світ має достатню силу, щоб примусити Росію до миру. Зокрема, у захисті Харківської області від російського наступу ми довели, що рішучість партнерів дійсно допомагає.
Axis Salem, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Hurricane Beryl has intensified into a Category 3 storm, now barreling towards the Caribbean with alarming force. This marks the first major hurricane of the Atlantic season. By Sunday night, Hurricane Beryl is projected to escalate into an extremely dangerous Category 4 storm, aiming directly to the southeastern Caribbean. The storm is set to bring life-threatening winds and significant storm surge to the Windward Islands. David Carizo will tell us why.
Hurricane Beryl was located around 150 miles southeast of Barbados, having maximum sustained winds of 130 miles per hour, moving westward at 20 miles per hour. Tropical storm warnings are up for Martinique, while in Dominica and Trinidad, a tropical storm watch is in effect. On the other hand, hurricane warnings were announced in Barbados, St. Lucia, Grenada, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines and Tobago. The National Hurricane Center, which is based in Miami, warns of the very serious situation for the Windward Islands. The center called the hurricane as extremely dangerous and was expected to bring life-threatening winds and storm surge up to 9 feet, where it will make a landfall. From being a dangerous Category 4 hurricane moving across Windward Islands early Monday, it is forecast to head to the southern Caribbean Monday night through to Tuesday. Beryl is considered only the 7th tropical depression in Atlantic hurricane history to develop into a hurricane within a short span of 42 hours, according to hurricane expert Sam Lillo. Hurricane specialist and storm surge expert Michael Lowry says Beryl is also only the 3rd Category 3 hurricane to develop in the Atlantic during the month of June, after Hurricanes Audrey in 1957 and Alma in 1966. He warned that Beryl is a very serious threat. Last week, Tropical Storm Alberto brought torrential flooding to southern Texas and northeastern Mexico, with at least 4 deaths reported in Nuevo Leon and Veracruz, Mexico. That makes Beryl the 2nd named storm in a predicted busy hurricane season in the Atlantic that runs from June 1 to November. St. Vincent and Grenadines Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves advised people to prepare and take situation very seriously for a terrible hurricane. He announced that shelters will open Sunday evening and ordered officials to refuel government vehicles, while advising grocery stores and gas stations to remain open later before the storm arrives. Meanwhile, Barbadian Prime Minister Mia Mottley noted that thousands were in Barbados on Saturday for the 2020 World Cup cricket final, so admonished people to be ready, knowing that it is better to plan for the worst and pray for the best when hurricanes happen. The National Hurricane Center considered Beryl unusual for having reached hurricane strength this early because the season's first hurricane normally forms in early to mid-August. On the other hand, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration predicted an above-average hurricane season. In a report released last month, it expects 17 to 25 storms, 8 to 13 hurricanes, and 4 to 7 major hurricanes of Category 3 and above, compared to the 14 named storms produced during an average hurricane season in the Atlantic. Mayveen Carizo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
North Korea conducted a missile test firing 2 ballistic missiles on Monday. It is reported that the second missile may have failed and exploded during an irregular flight, potentially resulting in debris falling inland. Gerard Morale will tell us why.
North Korea has launched 2 ballistic missiles on Monday, July 1. Reports indicate that the second missile may have experienced a failure, blowing up during an irregular flight and potentially scattering debris inland. South Korea's military is currently analyzing the situation and has not confirmed any casualties or damage to North Korean property, according to military spokesperson Lee Sung-jun. The first missile flew approximately 600 kilometers, while the second missile flew about 120 kilometers, both from an area near the west coast. Both missiles were fired toward the northeast. There are concerns that the second missile may have fallen close to North Korea's capital, Pyongyang. The Joint Chiefs of Staff stated that it was a provocation that seriously threatened peace and stability on the Korean peninsula. They also mentioned that they have shared details about the missiles with United States and Japanese authorities. In addition, the South Korean military affirmed that it will uphold its capability and readiness to respond decisively to any provocation. They will be closely monitoring North Korea's various activities within a robust South Korea-US joint defense posture. This recent launch follows another failed missile test just 5 days ago when North Korea test-fired a hypersonic missile, which spiraled out of control and exploded. It's worth noting that South Korea has been closely monitoring North Korea's missile launches from the preparation stage through to the projectile's flight. Experts speculate that these short-range ballistic missile launches may be intended to showcase North Korea's military capabilities to potential buyers. Moreover, North Korea has recently criticized joint military exercises conducted by South Korea, Japan, and the United States, warning of an overwhelming response against such drills. Additionally, North Korea claimed to have successfully conducted an important test for developing missiles carrying multiple warheads, although South Korea has dismissed this as a deception to conceal a failed launch. Gerard Moral, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe.
Former President Rodrigo Duterte has asserted that the Philippine offshore gaming operators, or POGOs, were permitted in the country. According to the former president, when regulated and legal, POGOs can significantly contribute to government. Lelaine Moreno details why.
Former President Rodrigo Duterte highlighted the significant revenue the Philippines gains from taxes imposed on Philippine offshore gaming operators, or POGOs. In a press conference in Tacloban City yesterday, June 30, Duterte underscored the substantial contributions these taxes have made to the government.
Alam mo kasi, maski nung pumayag ako dahil kailangan natin ng pera. Marami tayong mga nagsunugan, hingin ng tulong, makakatulong.
In 2021, Duterte signed Republic Act 11590, which increased taxes on POGOs and aimed to regulate illegal gambling operations in the country. The taxes collected from POGOs are allocated towards the Universal Health Care Act, health facilities, and budgets for programs under the National Economic and Development Authority, or NEDA. According to reports from the Department of Finance, the Bureau of Internal Revenue collected 8.8 billion pesos in taxes from POGOs in 2022, significantly higher than the 3.91 billion pesos earned in 2021. Duterte reiterated that POGOs operate legally in the country, but criticized corruption due to interference from police and politicians.
Ako, POGO, basta alagaan lang, legal talaga yan. It's intended to be legal and proper. Pagka pumasok na dyan, nandyan na yung corruption, police, pati politiko, sira talaga ang tumada. Pagka pumasok na, tapos nandyan na yung mga politiko, pati mga polis, wala. Kanya-kanyang spirit na yan.
Duterte clarified his relationship with Bamban Tarlac Mayor Alice Go, stating they were together at his home and had previously conducted educational trips with several mayors and councilors.
So I do not deny that she was there because nandun sa picture eh. So what about? Hindi naman ako nanupunta ng Pampanga. Hindi ko alam yung Pugo. I do not even know what that is all about.
He also mentioned he has no plans to run for office again, citing his age and leaving his fate to God.
Kana mo'y matubak na to o mukonsulta tas Ginoo. Layo kay na it's too distant really to give a reckoning what will happen in between year 28 anything goes na di ba ikaw kanon Diyos ray
Regarding international matters, Duterte claimed the International Criminal Court has no jurisdiction over the Philippines concerning his administration's war on drugs. He also stated he was unaware of his daughter, Vice President Sara Duterte's resignation as Secretary of the Department of Education. Former President Duterte stated that he knows the whereabouts of religious group leader Apollo Kibuloy, who is facing charges related to sexual abuse, child abuse, and trafficking. However, he declined to disclose his location despite authorities' repeated searches of Kibuloy's properties in Davao, where he has not been apprehended.
Ayaw man pastor siguro mag-surrender, huwag mag-surrender, magtago ka na lang. Pero kung tanungin mo kung saan si pastor, alam ko kung saan si pastor, pero secret.
Kibuloy faces charges of sexual abuse, child abuse, and trafficking. As an administrator of Kingdom of Jesus Christ properties and a friend of Kibuloy, Duterte did not comment on the armed police presence at these locations. Duterte expressed his support for law enforcement and the military, describing himself as pro-police and pro-military, having formerly served as the commander-in-chief of the country. He also acknowledged the challenging position of police officers who follow orders from their superiors. Lelaine Moreno, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The so-called Solid 7 in the Senate is leaning towards being an independent bloc in the upper chamber. Senate President Juan Miguel Mig Zubiri says the members of the group met last week and are planning to remain as independent. Zubiri clarifies they will wait for Senator Joel Villanueva, who is overseas, before finalizing their decision. The former Senate chief vows that will not be an obstructive bloc and will continue to help the administration and the current Senate leadership. Zubiri also thumbs down the possibility of him joining the opposition. The Solid 7 is composed of senators who supported Zubiri when he was ousted from the Senate presidency, namely Senators Villanueva, Sani Angara, Nancy Binay, Lauren Legarda, J.B. Ejercito, and Sherwin Gatchalian.
By before July 22, of course, we'll already know how we will be positioning ourselves. But definitely, Senator Cheese has nothing to worry about as far as I'm concerned. Basta gawin niya lang ng trabaho niya ng matapat sa taong bayan.
Our Kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with the word, giving glory to God. From the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 8, it says, knowing that whatsoever good thing any man doeth, the same shall he receive of the Lord, whether he bond or free. Those are the reasons behind the news, July 1, 2024. Since we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Jose Liquido, live from Malaysia.
And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am Oralyn Quijano, live from Toronto, Canada. We serve the people, we give glory to God.